Mafilda mid lane is just such a scary beast, right? I know you played with it personally a lot, so you know what I'm talking about when I say that Mafilda on the mid lane is definitely something to fear. And I kind of expect this for the whole day.
Yeah, maybe even like for the first few weeks we will not see Matilda at all.
Yesterday he was great. She was great.
Oh yeah, she showed up.
She showed up
in one game there.
Yeah, but I think that's where this is coming from. Like, people saw what you could do with the Mafilda yesterday. So they talked last night. They said, guys, all the teams in the MPL, please ban out Mafilda.
Yeah.
That guy's broken.
Let's just not.
Let's just not.
LB, take out Benedetta, a pick that Coach Panda has a lot of high praises for, and not just him, a lot of the coaching staffs here. So, different bans we're seeing. A little bit more bans onto the fighters. We saw one tank ban, so NXP might want to consider picking out their tank in the first 3 instead of being forced to pick it out as their last pick. And something that we agree upon amongst the casters is that it would be nice if you get your supports and maybe one of your side laners, your XP laners specifically, already in the first 3 picks.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great way to round it up first. Force your enemy to kind of react weird, because I think that's also the way that they play. Actually, most teams right now, they kind of want to prioritize the side laners first, right? And then maybe a frontline tank, maybe someone to control the mid lane, but almost never the carry. So Arvs is going to be here. Though we did see that game 1, right? They picked up the Claude second pick. So I don't know. They could do something similar to that if they're confident. But that Claude, I really don't want to see it anymore from LPE if they can't back it up properly.
Yeah, it seems like they really shine the most if Jake the Dog is in a position to carry the team as well.
Yeah,
not just
compared to Aspect, right?
Yeah, compared to Aspect,
My
exactly. Nexplay now though might want to definitely eye out picking in the tank already. But with the Cho, the Paquito, and the Jawhead gone, only few options left here for Yaoi to pick up. But a lot of them are open. Esmeralda's open. Claw's open if they want to. They might even go for the Roger again, potentially. So
there you go.
Roger and Alice.
Good call.
Same first 2 picks.
Yeah, I could almost feel Doggy saying, like, guys, go for H2O did really well. Just go Roger. We'll take care of the rest. You know, it's funny. By the way, if you guys are wondering on the boot camp, right? If you guys are wondering why there are only 3 people visible there, Renmar's got you covered.
Yeah, for
if you're just joining us.
Yeah, you're probably just wondering LPE because of we just want to be safe here, and the league has some very stringent safety protocols. There are players from LPE who have been isolated from the rest of the squad, but because you want to make sure fair play is still there, there are referees from the league who have the other players of LPE on call. So no piloting is going to happen.
No worries.
Everyone is accounted for. Now, you mentioned it earlier, the Claude was picked up here by LPE for the second pick, but now we're gonna see Ryota rock the Lapu Lapu, a hero that he played really well in the qualifiers.
You know what? I think Lapu Lapu has been super undervalued because of the nerfs, but I think this does work well for LPE, by the way. And this second pick, Claude, hopefully Jake the Dog really uses this, right? Because it does work very well for LPE to have Jake the Dog on the carry.
Yeah, please put that on the gold lane.
You know, it'd be so funny if LPE practiced a whole month with Aspect on carry, then suddenly they shifted over to Jake the Dog. That would be so funny. But yes, as we go into this draft, something that we did see yesterday as well, that Grok is something that Yaoi knows how to play for sure, and it does impact very well.
Yeah, we saw this yesterday. Rafflesia rocked it, even with a high and dry. So it's a unique take on the Grok, but it's a take on the Grok that works. Because it was also against a Claude at that time and was able to disrupt the Claude really well. The fact that you gave the Grok high and dry, if this is going to be a high and dry Grok, more often than not, BMO will be forced to help out Jake the Dog just so that Yaoi doesn't get that extra 6% damage boost.
Yeah, I feel like that should be the case. And you know what? I have a lot of faith in BMO. You know, he knows stuff like that. He knows that you gotta stick to this lane if this guy's on high and dry. We gonna go there all day long. And I just feel like BMO's in a good position. From his experience is definitely showing.
Definitely.
Especially in that last game. where we saw him even in game 1 actually, great comedic glances like you mentioned, right on cue, right on time. It's just that maybe the rest of the team needed some time to warm up.
Yeah.
They need to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, the funny thing is like BMO has been warmed up since game 1.
Oh yeah.
And then game 2 was like, guys, I'm really warm now.
I'm getting tired.
You guys should be ready. But then finally.
Yeah, he did. He did a good job as well.
He did an amazing job here. Now, NXP decided to go for a respect ban, as you pointed out here.
That is beautiful. I think respecting Jake the Dog, respecting the flex that they can. You can flex that. You can flex the Claude very well into Jake the Dog. They know it, so they're removing one good option. So that I have that. I have 50-50 thoughts about that because I don't feel like Laos Playbook will want draft the Harif anyway because they don't necessarily need it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although I do have great respect for the Loyi as well, so not bad for NXP.
Now, something that Coach Panda praises is the new Bane.
New Bane! We saw it yesterday. Not bad, not bad.
What if it shows up here?
Like, Bane has been changed so much, and yesterday we got a little piece of the action.
Yeah.
It was very promising.
Very promising by Benny Cutie yesterday.
Benny Cutie?
I'm not. Thank you. Rockhart, you got this? I'm gonna go. You got me there.
That's not mine, by the way. That's Manjean's. Don't blame me. Benny Cutie definitely did perform very well. So, and we did hear Coach Panda talk about that hero a few times as well. So, still possibility here for the docket.
Yeah. Next play, Mage Varsa left open here. Okay, so now LPE they have enough dive here, enough mobility to avoid some of those feathered airstrikes here. Last 2 picks for LPE will be crucial, really going to determine what NXP are going to pick last. What do you potentially see here for LPE? Will a Chang'e get potentially picked up again?
I don't know, man. I feel like they just need more damage. Chang'e is a great one to control the mid, and if LPE kind of remembers the last game, they could go. But I feel like you can also substitute heroes like the Harley for control. You can have heroes, any good poke mage actually will work for one of these slots. Now, they already locked someone in. What?
Yeah, this is gonna
Double marksman?
Oh, and the Rafaela.
Okay, no poke mages.
Okay, this classic combo.
Okay.
It's a classic Bruno Rafa combo.
Yeah, but double carry?
Yeah.
Huh.
So they're thinking about... Because the funny thing is, they're thinking... both of them are thinking about the late game, but definitely LPE have that early game...
They do. They have
presence.
early game. Impressive, impressive. Now, I like the Farsa because it's a great comfort pick for a lot of players for NXP, but I don't know how well that's going to fare in the late game against heroes like a Claude, heroes like Bruno. Very difficult to deal with. Now, they already have a...
so it goes to NXP.
It goes to NXP. We expected the Bane, but we expected LPE to pick it up.
Yeah.
Not NXP, and they are going to go for it. And I'm very happy with the draft for NXP, man.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for this. I know.
This is going to be a great game. It's going to be kills on kills.
Kills on kills. Expect it.
Nexplay picked up the Bane, and if you didn't join us yesterday, we talked about the Bane a fair amount in the cast. But for those of you who are just joining us now in the MPL for this game, the reason why we have a lot of excitement for Bane is because of the adjustments to Bane scaling much better with magic damage. Pair that up with the adjustments to the Clock of Destiny, a much better item to pick up because you get the stacks of it faster.
Yeah, you got some tankiness, you got some magic. That's all Bane needs.
Yeah, the second skill, Rum, when it's fully charged, hurts a lot. And there are some people who build Oracle. I'm not saying that some people is me, but yes, me. If you build Oracle with the Bane as well, even that up with the magic damage, you get strong enough sustain because the heal and the shield is really strong.
Now that might be overkill for some people. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to look at the itemization as we head into the game here, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3 between NXP and LPE. I'm liking the vibes that we have as well for LPE. They're trying some new stuff here. This is a first for the season so far. Double marksman setup.
Yeah, we've seen it in other regions, but we haven't seen it a while here in the Philippines.
Yep.
The Bruno Rafaela, a classic combination. We seems like based on the reaction that you gave off there, you like the draft of NXP, how it's looking. What do you think about the overall draft here of LPE?
Now for the draft of LPE, I feel like it's similar to what they had in Game 1, where you kind of need to buckle down. That we mentioned, now we said that there is good early game still for LPE a little bit, but not so much, because you can only do so much with Sylvana, with Lapu-Lapu.
Yeah.
It's eventually you're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to team fight, and LPE will take a lot of time before they're ready to team fight.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing about LPE's draft that I don't like. But if they can sustain for a long time, the late game is going to be a slugfest for LPE.
Yeah, and it really helps that they have the Rafaela with them, because if what you says holds true and LPE doesn't have that much of a good start, and it takes them a while to ramp up, then Rafaela is going to come in key position to keep themselves alive. Because one thing we have to watch out for, again, is the fact that Yawi is on the Grok, and he's going to look to disrupt.
Yep, he's going to want to go for early fights. And that's just what the Grok does, right? That's why you have a Guardian Barrier. That's why you have the Wild Charge. You want an early game fight. And the player like Yawi, he's great at initiating early game team fights. So I kind of expect the early game to be very critical. First 5 levels for both these teams, you can expect a lot of action. You want LPE to be more defensive because their lineup needs it to be defensive. But other than that, they do have the tools to go for fighting as well in the early game, like we said before.
Yeah, and Grog, if Yawi doesn't decide to disrupt the junglers here, he might want to seek out to disrupt the lane wherever his Alice is in. Because if Grog doesn't get that stun onto the wall, he gets like that momentary knockup that an Alice can use to go in, get the stun, and get the combo.
Yeah, and get some good damage in.
Yeah.
Right? You also get a little bit of stun from that Alice, so expect some good synergy between Yawi as well as James. So we're heading into the game. LPE versus NXP game number 3. Let's head into the fight.
Litho Wanderer gets secured there by NXP. So the Stone Roamer, that new little creep that you see there, that spawns after the Litho Wanderer gets taken down, that actually provides vision. So now the members of LPE are going to be seen for the next 5 seconds because they just stepped in the zone and just broke that Stone Roamer. At this point of the game, though, not a big factor, but we've seen it in the past 2 days that vision provided by the new Stone Roamer creep comes in big.
Yeah, it is. It does do some pretty good stuff, enabling you to plan ahead. Enabling your team to plan ahead and try to go for the right objectives. Like, for example, you see the enemy go for a purple buff, and you can go for the opposite side. And it just opens up so much possibilities, especially in this game where you kind of need to rely a lot on those to get ahead. Because the small things are going to make a big impact in this one.
All right. Now, JTD is going to be going up James's Alice in the bottom lane here. Now, what do you think about that matchup?
Now, earlier on, we will expect some good pressure for JTD. But I feel like that's going to fade eventually, right? As you head later on into the game, you're kind of going to see LPE rise up over the opposition. But at the same time, Alice does do that as well, right?
Yeah.
That's why you put Alice on the gold lane. So, I don't know. I feel like there's just 50... That bottom side is 50-50 for me.
It's going to really be up to the rotations again, going back to Yawi. NXP, a lot of their tempo is going to be set by the rotation of Yawi here on that Grok, who does not go for the Rafflesia style high and dry, but instead goes for the pull yourself together.
That's the classic Grok.
Classic Grok, yeah, exactly. And now BMO is rocking with the focusing mark, so that just means every kick, every upgraded basic attack kick from that Bruno is going to hurt even more if BMO can land some damage on the target as well.
Yeah, and so far, I feel like Aspect is playing very, very safe in this game. With only Yawi spotting him out here, and Turtles already half, could be big.
And let's see who's going to take the first turtle of the game. It's going to go to LPE. Ryota gets to secure the stun there and the kill onto Land C. And NXP, LPE says see you later because James has to get away from here, cannot give up any more kills. But look at Ryota and are still going for the chase and securing it. Now, BMO is playing the Rafaela. Not your traditional tank. There are no traditional tanks here in LPE. Ours is rocking a mage build type, Sylvana. Something that you brought up when we were talking off camera like a few days before is that teams will want to look into building more of your magic-based Sylvana.
Yeah, instead of the usual like instant defensive items, because you want to capitalize. And this is the right way to do it. That's exactly the right way you want to build a Sylvana these days. You want to go for the late game build. Magic damage increases your lifesteal, increases your survivability as well.
That's why the concentrated energy is going to be the main first item here being built up by Arv. NXP, see how they're going to play this out. They have more of a traditional lineup that we know of, while BMO rocking that Rafaela. It's more of what we set up earlier in game number 1 when we were talking about the Indonesian idea of the first strike meta where you don't have your traditional tank here. But that means LPE is in a bit of a timer. Let's see if they're going to be able to make something out of this. That's going to be a big team fight. Deadly Cash has been brought out here by Renegade, but deals a lot of damage to LPE, but LPE are still fighting. They have the sustain, they have the damage. Jowie gets Ryota coming in,
misses.
Does not land the stun. He gets the third hit onto Renegade with the ultimate bravest fighter, but they're not going to be able to convert. Really close call there by both of these two teams, but Renegade could be up next. Blazing Duet has been popped up by Jake the Dog. An early rotation out of lane for him. LPE were not able to convert. That could have been really bad for NXP.
But NXP is able to get out just in time. Now, the ultimate for the bravest fighter, I don't know. I feel like that was just a big misstep. There was no other way to say that. That is a misplay from Ryota. Let's see if he can make it up, though, as we do see LPE converging once more around the turtle area. They really want this onto the player like Aspect. Imagine Bruno with a turtle buff at this point. It's going to be very scary.
Yeah, Ryota has 2 kills already and has a bit of a lead over the Alice, so he's going to be more effective in this team fight. Lancey already used that feathered airstrike just for 1 pop. The turtle got reset for a bit, though, as LPE are going to continue it. James is there to try to disrupt, to take down the turtle, but that's a killing spree now for Ryota, getting the kill onto H2O. As that happens, at the same time, Yowie got taken out. What a control play there by LPE for that objective.
And I feel like I just said the words. I said the words came out of my mouth and it happened right on our screens. Bruno, Aspect getting the turtle buff will only make it so much harder for NXP to take out this main carry.
Yeah, that's because BMO is there for the holy healing if Aspect will need it. So for the next few minutes, NXP have to watch their feet, where they go, where they step, lest they run into a shrub and Aspect just kicks a ball right into their face.
If that happens, like the minimum amount of hits is like 3 empowered hits. You go near a bush, that's 1, going away 2, and then a possible third. Now, there's going to be a big fight happening on top side. H2O doing the hard carry as he usually does. Followed with Yowie with a wild charge, locks down Jake the Dog.
But here comes Ryota. Let's see if he can make up for it again. But the sidestep by Yowie does not get stunned. So Ryota misses the stun again, but now he's 3-0-0. Steps ahead of James with the Alice. So again, that Lapu-Lapu is still going to be more effective in the team fight if it happens, as Lance is forced to use the wings by wings to fly out there. Reset by both squads.
Yeah, it's a good reset. And NXP finally getting a foothold, at least on the opposite side of the map. Top side is already a lost cause. They said, why don't we go for a bottom push? We got a turtle spawning here soon. Taking out the tower should be big. Provide them some vision, some control on the map.
And now, NXP decide to split it up, sacrifice a turret, but LPE is still in the lead with 1. Renegade has to be really careful here as Aspect BMO and arms.
There you go!
The flicker forward of the Cometic Lance secures the pick off onto Renegade, but LPE will not be able to get that turret. I'm pretty sure they really wanted that, but they're going to be happy with the kill.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get some pressure on top side with NXP converging on mid. Turtle is going to be big. Jake the Dog's already in position, but I don't think they can take it anytime soon. However, again, LPE, they know that they cannot leave this away for long. They start to go for it.
Cometic Lance means that Lancy is forced to use
Feathered
Feathered
Airstrike.
Airstrike to help him.
Oh, no.
Oh no, he's gonna try to save the last hit, but it runs out. But the turtle is somehow miraculously stolen by James. The heist of the game, as LBE cannot even punish. NXP immediately get out of there, but now LBE have their eyes set on the middle tower as Lancy gets eaten up by that Divine Justice and the combination from Ryota. James is gonna go in with a flowing blood, trying to stop the minion waves and deal damage there, but he gets stunned. H2O eats up a lot of damage. He's forced to go back. LPE deal a lot of damage to Yawi, but are not going to be able to push enough into the turret. But good punish there by LPE. Good trade, I mean. The fact that they lost that turtle by a beautiful steal by James Z. Of course, what are you going to do next? Get that turret.
Get that turret and enable the rest of your team to go for a bit of a disengage. You basically did your job there. And again, that was beautifully done there. Now the big thing. This is what we need to talk about. They're denying the turtle buff very well.
Yeah.
Right? Great job for NXP, but is that enough to stop Aspect at this point? I feel like his Bruno has scaled off so much. This Bruno is just so safe in the big team fights that the Bruno is getting so much gold.
Yeah, and Bruno is one of those heroes that snowballs really fast. And it's a big deal, the fact that he gets the first turtle of the game. Coach Panda is actually one of those coaches who believes that if you get the first turtle, more often than not, you will win the game.
You got some good tempo.
Yeah,
you get good tempo.
Good tempo, and the tempo was stopped a bit by that steal from James.
Which is good job, by the way. I was surprised. Yeah. That was out of nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't... I still can't, like, I'm playing it back in my head. I still don't know how exactly it happened.
I know.
It just did.
It's something that shouldn't happen, but somehow LP, again, minor mistake. They don't. Yeah. I don't think James didn't even have retributions. I don't know. Big fight here.
Remember, this is a double marksman lineup, and with that, even though they were threatened by the feathered airstrike, they had the basic attack damage to just burn down that turret. Now, NXP have to be really careful here. They have great damage, they have great burst, but Renegade has not had a good time. He was completely pressured by LPE. It's going to take some time for his Deadly Catch and Rum to absolutely burn down the members of LPE.
Yeah, because right now the scaling is still it's not that good yet for Renegade. He's 0-2-1. 4.8k gold lead. He's still one of the most richest players on the team, but not by much.
Yeah, and now someone gets bursted down. That is going to be Arvs with that Sylvana getting taken out there. The Lord spawns, but Ryota is pressuring the bottom lane. Watch out for that in your map as a fight happens here. Close to the top side as NXP want to go for that turret. LPE, let's see. Yeah. No one develops. From that, not much happens. No big trades. Both teams are just trying to feel out one another, how they're going to move this and how they're going to handle this.
Yeah, because right now, LPE needs to be calm and collected. They know they're in the lead. They can feel it. They don't see the numbers, but they can feel it, right? But so far, I think Yawi wants to go and do something.
And he did something. Opened up that pickoff. Aspect is the one who gets taken out, but they still have Jake the Dog. The marksman is still there to deal damage. Let's see if he's going to go in with a Blazing Duet or if he'll try to fight and basic attack someone down. H2O gets focused down by Ards and gets a kill there. On to H2O. Both carries are down for both teams, but again, double carry here for LPE, and Renegade felt that. Yawi might be feeling that next. Lancy just got taken out. Yawi just got taken out.
My God.
And a double kill for the Lapu. Ryota is now 5-0-1.
He was listening to us earlier. He said, all right, you guys want me to make up for that big misplay? Here you go.
Yeah.
So, as we did see, the engagement here from Arvs was huge. He basically neutered H2O in that engagement with the Kinetic Lance, with a Spiral Strangling Spell Vamp. And after that, it was just a very easy cleanup for the rest of the team.
That was a beautiful setup, though, by Yawi and the rest of NXP. Renegade using the Deadly Catch for the burst. Any other team probably would have decided to call that off and back off, which would have really risked LPE getting chased down by NXP. But LPE remembered that Jake the Dog is here. I think we got to catch out H2O, and they did. Just a great play there. Good thing you highlighted Arvs. I feel like he really kept that alive.
Yeah, I mean, BMO can play Sylvana, Arvs can play Sylvana. You got two big Sylvana players on this team. Apparently, Arvs can do it pretty darn well as good as well.
BMI, forced to go back here is Jake the Dog, but he has the information that the members of NXP are just base locked right now. They're in quarantine. They cannot go out of home as the Lord marches in the bottom lane. This could be big, Rock Hard.
Lord says we got a curfew, boys. Get back in your bunk. And we'll see if they can push, though. It's going to be difficult for them to push because of the wave clear that's present in NXP. And, of course, the Guardian Barrier is just massive. But let's see.
Feathered Airstrike committed. Blazing Duet does not land on enough members of NXP as that deadly catch is deadly for LPE. Takes out JTD and Arvs, but Renegade gets taken out there on NXP side. LPE still has the marksman to push down a turret. So despite a really well-handled team fight by NXP, LPE still walk away with an inhibitor turret break.
Yeah, and again, that's all you want for that push. I didn't even expect them to go and take the inhibitor turret, but they do, which is a great, at the expense of Arbs and Jake the Dog, but still, mission accomplished in terms of pushing. Now, NXP, they got a small opening here with Jake the Dog just fresh off of the respawns. Can they do anything about it?
Ryota, though, gets knocked up, eats up the wild charge right away. NXP could have gotten a pick off there, but Ryota was able to dash out. Now, you mentioned something that is a strength of this NXP lineup.
Here we go.
I thought that's going to be a Cometic Lance stun onto Lance C. Gets lanced in the face by the Cometic Lance. How many times can I say Lance as LPE marches down the mid lane? They smell blood. They look to end this. It's a 5 versus 4. They have a double marksman, but they're waiting for the minion waves. Can NXP clear it off? They have really good minion wave. Deadly catch just to destroy the minion wave, so LPE cannot get overexcited here. They can't end the game just yet because of the strength I was talking about. I was about to ask you that NXP has. They have really good wave clear.
Yeah, we talked about it. We said it before the big Lord fight earlier, and we are going to say it again. That is great wave clear on the side of NXP. They also have an Alice with a Winter Truncheon that can go really, really deep in the enemy territory. And LPE needs to get creative here because this is not going to be an easy push.
Yeah, NXP have the right tools to handle the waves. They can drag this out, but do they actually have a lineup for a really good late game?
They probably do. They can probably, keep up. But you have to remember, Roger's not that great in late game. Roger's usually early to mid game very, very good with the Lycan Pounce, but after the Pounce, usually very vulnerable unless you had some good items.
Orange buff getting contested here by LPE. They decide to back off as all the members of NXP are there. Just to ensure that H2O has it now. H2O on a hero that you just mentioned does not scale well into the late game, and we barely felt H2O in this game. So far, we've seen more of Renegade and Lance C, but NXP just really couldn't get the ball rolling for their main jungler carry. While LPE have stuck to the strengths of their lineup really, really well.
Yeah, and again, unless I was talking about the Roger, that's unless you get some good items, right? That's the borderline. You can go into the late game, just make sure you're items ahead of your opposition carry, which is not the case here. So they're gonna have to really max the wave clear out, drag this on to maybe 24 minutes so they can get into even footing. Because right now, LPE is starting off on the Lord.
Now, Deadly Catch is going to be available for this laning. Could be big for NXP to zone out the members of LPE and burst them down to get this Lord. But LPE decide to reset it. They say it's a little bit too risky, but there's a plague around it. Aspect focusing on the Lord. Good zone out here by Arms, Bimo, and Jake the Dog. The members of NXP can't get close. Guardian's Barrier means that Yaoi and the rest of NXP have to take the long way around. But now Yaoi's there in the back. Yaoi's there to disrupt. But the members of NXP have fallen down. The tank has left them. And that's Renegade, H2O, Lancey bursted down. A triple kill there by Aspect. Yaoi could be up next. Make it a maniac!
Oh my gosh, LPE and Aspect, this is what we were talking about, man. One wrong move, if you get into a bad bush with Aspect, with a Bruno there, you will suffer, and suffer they did. I cannot believe how strong Aspect is right now.
That is it. That means most likely it is game. James, though, just trying to manage the minion wave, but James almost taking that Arms godlike for Aspect. An unofficial 5-man kill there by him, but James actually saved the game.
He saved it! He saved the game!
One hit!
That is brutal. This is just how you do it, LPE, man. They're scraping in. They're holding on for dear life. And again, it will be an uphill climb, but Yaoi does have some info. He knows the Lord is happening here with Jake Dog on the chase. Wild charge out of there. But Lord should be an easy take for LPE.
Okay, now LPE is probably thinking, okay, we'll run that again, but this time we'll try to break it. That's Yaoi is really, really low. They're committing skills, but they're waiting for that Lord to push through. Yaoi's just buying time. He might be going down here. The longer he stands, the higher the chance, though, that he's going to miss out for the Lord to come out. Maybe by the time it gets to base, Yaoi's just about to come back, but the Lord's taking a sweet time.
The Lord is taking his sweet time, and that's just what happened in the late game. Now, Jake the Dog has some pretty good amount of damage right now on that claw. It's very, very scary. It could be bad here for NXP. Again, without the Guardian Barrier to hold that mid lane, imagine this should be an easy entry here for LBE.
9 seconds until Yaoi comes back. NXP are going to try to hold on as long as they can. They have the wave clear, they have the burst damage, so Jake the Dog takes a lot, but that's going to be suppressed on the Renegade as Renegade is about to fall down. He goes down. Lord be Bane goes down, and they're going to be focusing on the base. LBE wins the series by winning Game 3. Welcome to the MPL for your first match.